gone. I'm live out here, sunny Florida, sunny South Florida, and I'm out over here talking about James Harden. He has a big game this evening, tip off, roughly 30 minutes in Miami, sunny South Florida. It's pretty nice and sunny out. Anyways, is James Harden on a decline? Is he losing a step? Is it time to no longer fear the beard? And I really do feel like that you can't really trust James Harden in the playoffs. So, especially with Embiid out right now, we're going to really see the spotlight on James and see if he could be the James Harden, the beard from the Houston Rocket days. So I got these his career stats pulled up right here in the Houston Rocket. If you are a beard fan, you know that he did take a bet on himself when he was in OKC and he went to Houston, and immediately he started stepping his game up and going off. 25 points his first couple years, then 27, 29, and then in his height he was 30 and 8 assists, 36 and 7.5 assists. We got him at 34 and 7, and since then he really hasn't been up in that 30 point per game average. Even though in one good year in Brooklyn he averaged his best year in Brooklyn 24 and a half, 10 assists, on 47% field goal, but he hasn't been like that dominant 30 point big boy triple dubs, big boy double doubles, them 30 point 15s and 10s. And then in the playoffs, he really hasn't been doing well. He really hasn't been performing well in the playoffs. It's really actually been kind of lackadaisical at the most. They talk about James in the playoffs. So with Embiid being out, we're really going to see how he can step his game up versus Miami Heat defense. They're going to throw a lot of bodies on him. The Heat did really good versus Trey Young, which I could kind of call Trey almost like a little mini version of James Harden. But the one thing that James has that Trey doesn't, I'm gonna say two things. The first one is that major size advantage that James has over Trey. So he could take the physicalness a little bit better that Miami Heat's gonna throw at him, and then his age and experience, he has that over Trey. But they both still ball dominant guards, like to dribble a lot on top of the key, and they stretch the floor. They both lob. They both shoot good from threes. So Miami, they had a good defense versus Trey. So I expect them to have a really good defense versus James Harden. So if you can see my prediction with my quick picks I did yesterday for the game. I really do expect the Heat to play good defense. I expect it to be a blowout. So we're really going to see if James. I would like to see James get him a nice little double dub. Get a little 25 and 10, something like that. See if Maxey can get going. It's going to be rough for the 76ers tonight versus Miami, especially without Embiid to stretch the floor, be that dominant in the dominant anchor down by the basket. But back to James, he really has struggled, and these playoffs, especially this round one, looking at versus Toronto, 40 minutes, and he's averaging around 20, about 20. You got one game versus Toronto, 22, then the next game 14, then the next game 19, the next game 22, then 15 and 22. So he's been averaging there right around 20. He's almost had double digits assists. So we'll see how he can do versus Miami in this. He's been he's been really coming out weak in the playoffs these last few years, especially in Houston. When Houston they were putting up numbers, man, and then he would just come out weak. Like, where is Harden? He would come out ice cold, hit. Oh my God, I think he missed like over 23s in a row before he finally hit something when he was playing with Houston. So, I, is James Harden losing a step? Yeah. That last game versus Toronto, I think he did get a good dunk, but man, I really haven't seen him dunking. I really haven't seen him blowing by people. Tonight's going to be another big test. Is he still athletic? Does he still have that blow by ability to dunk on Bam? I'm going to say, does he have that ability? Especially Miami has some young some young guys they can really throw at him. Larry, I believe, is out for Miami too, so he could take advantage of a veteran guard being out. Larry has some size on him, some strength, and Tyler here was a little bit young. He doesn't really have that size on him like Larry, so we're to see if he could take advantage of a size mismatch, and get to the bucket and dunk on somebody. We'll see where his athleticism is. He's always been pretty cold from threes in the playoffs, and that's going to be another thing that we're going to have to look at also to see what his 3 point percentage is, and because man, he's been pretty rough in the playoffs. So this is going to be a real major test to see how James. All eyes on James these next couple couple games at least. With Embiid being out, and I'm listening to these professional sports commentators, and they're talking about he Harden might want D'Antoni to come in. So is he just doing this to try to get D'Antoni in? And how many times is he going to do this? He can't really get his way all the time. He was in Houston and he didn't really play. He's always saying, "Oh, I got injuries, this, injuries that." Look at his last year in Houston, 8 games played and 24 points per game. He was he was not really looking healthy. He came out there not athletic, and he forced his way out of Houston. He got out of Brooklyn when he wanted to go to Philly. So is he going to continue to get his way, and is he going to be able to find like adapt his game because he is getting a little bit older now, and we see these older guards they gotta have to adapt their game. See kind of what he if he can post up a little bit, use his size versus smaller guards. Like I said earlier, it's going to be a big test for him this series, and to see what the future of James. And if Maxi comes out there like a blur that he is, we're like going to be talking about James this next couple weeks. So, like I said, in my quick picks, I'm picking Miami, and I was trying to say sweep on them, but I'm gonna be professional, and I think I said like five. In the bracket, I have Miami in six, but with Embiid out, this is gonna be big for them. Embiid is gonna be out for at least these first 2 games in Miami. He's not traveling, so we'll see if Embiid can get back and what Harden can do. If Harden can handle the load, carry the team, and maybe at least get one. He's not gonna get he's not gonna get one in Miami. Yeah, they're gonna be too much in Miami. But they really play a lot. The others play better at home, so if he can get one in Philly to extend it, but it's not going seven. I don't know. I doubt it's going to go six if Embiid can get in there and be crazy. But this is more about Harden and the beard. And from what we've seen in the playoffs, he is really not a clutch performer in the playoffs, to say it nicely. And that's really about all I got. I wanted to do this. I've been thinking about James Harden these last, when he was playing in Toronto. I really wanted to see him step up in Toronto and have average like 30. I know he might be trying to get everybody else involved, coming in there, playing with Embiid, MVP type season, MVP type player right now, and it's a big blow to them being out. Um, but man, he's got to. Is he going to go back to these 30 point big boy double dubs? like he was in Houston, or is he going to fall off? Only time will tell, and time it just keeps on a ticking. We got about 15, 20 minutes here till that heat tip off. So we're going to get in here, watch this game. Thank you for viewing, taking my perspective on James Harden. And if you want to know what I really think, I think Father Time is undefeated. James might be slipping a little bit, but it just comes with age. Can he do kind of like what D Wade did and the end of his career, kind of switch it up a little bit and just grow as a basketball player? We've seen him grow from a basketball player, from a six man of the year to come in Houston, be a star of the offense. We've seen him do big things, man, and but he just he comes up short when it matters most, and that's what the ring is about. That's what the superstars are about, coming up big when it matters. He just hasn't been there. So can he reinvent himself? I do think you. I think he's fallen off a little bit. I think he's losing a little bit of step, and he's going to have to reinvent himself coming into this next year. See what kind of deal he can get in Houston, and see what him and Embiid can be, because they're two MVP type caliber players, and Philly's a tough crowd, man. Tough city, and they want championships. So that's that's about it. I got on James. That's my time for right now. Go ahead and get watch this game. Get ready to watch this game. Walk the dog. All that. Big HD ENT in full effect. Like, subscribe. Give me some comments out here with this plane over here. Doing live things. Just going off a rip. Man, let me know what y'all think about this outside setting. And we only go up, man. Only go up.